welcome back to a new project. So today I'm going to start lubricating the seacocks that are on the boat. There are three. I'm only going to make this one video, but I'm just going to go through the basic process of servicing the seacock. So basically there's a plug inside here that turns and has an opening that will let seawater into the toilet, and when you turn it like this it's closed. When you have it in line it's on. So basically what I need to do is there are two bolts on either side with nuts, and I just need to loosen them, take this captive plate off, take the whole thing out, and then basically clean all the grease out, clean the seacock itself, clean inside, get rid of all the grease, and then re-grease it and put it back in, and then tighten the bolts down, and then tighten the locking nuts. So I literally have no space to work here, so you're going to have to take my word for how I do it. One thing I forgot to mention is when you go to take the screw out, the locking nut behind it, you need to make sure you hold on to that locking nut with a wrench or something, or take it off altogether if you can. And then once you get that nut off, the screw will come out. Because if you don't take that nut off or hold it, the screw will actually lock. That's the whole point of it, is to lock the screw from backing out. So that's how you do it. And then once you get both screws, and all the screws here are bronze, so if it's hard, you're doing something wrong, so because they won't rust onto each other. So there's one, there's two. Let's see if this will come out. See if it comes out nicely, all in one piece. And you can actually see there's still some grease on there from, I did this 2 years ago, and there's still plenty of grease. You can't smell it, but this is a wonderful smelling grease. It's Blake's from England that actually makes the Seacock. I actually got the grease from England. So that's it. I will now clean everything out and we'll get back to you. I'm sorry, I'm at my secondary workbench. The primary workbench is kind of full now. So here's the Seacock that I pulled out of the boat. As you can see, it's in two parts, the retainer and the Seacock itself. So basically all I'm going to do is just pretty much wipe it down, and then as part of it do a visual inspection, and then see if there's any kind of bad marks or any kind of deep, I mean there's some corrosion here, but very, very minor. So we can run with this. We don't have to lap it or anything. We don't have to clean it and make it a smoother surface. This feels really, really smooth, and it operates really, really well. So that's the old grease, came right off, no problem. And that's about it on this end. Give this a quick wipe down. And now we will go back in the boat and I will clean the inside of the hole that this goes into and then put it back. So that's how it goes, and then it just moves underneath it. So that's about it on this end. Okay, this is about as good as it's going to get for the camera. So here's what it looks like. I haven't touched it yet, so this is what it looks like. It's got some grease on the outside, and there's actually some cups in there that hold grease as well. So I'm going to take out this old grease. It really isn't that old, it's only a few years old, maybe 3 years old. This grease seems to last about 3 years. I'm going to mount this the best I can and see what I can do here. Then I'll stick my finger into the cups and grab the grease that's in there. See, the grease is still pretty decent. There's 3 little cups. They're like recesses in the bronze. And if anyone has any other better ways of doing this or any tips or tricks on doing this, let me know. I'm always willing to learn. I'm not saying that I'm the most knowledgeable boater out there. I'm just a do-it-yourself type of guy. So feel free to critique my method. So here's the grease. It's Blake's grease. That's actually the manufacturer of the Seacock. So I'll just press down in the center, press down and a little volcano of grease comes up. I'll take some of that, smear it in the hole. I'm going right for the cups. I'm trying to get it as best I can all around. Don't need a ton of it, you just need enough of it. So that's that, and I'll do the same thing to the Seacock. I'll put a little bit on the Seacock itself. I'm not going to move the camera because my hands are full of grease. That's probably way too much. Let me get rid of some of that. Just put a light coating on. I really can't reach the bottom of the hole from here, so I'll put some on down here. Yeah, it's probably too much, but it'll squeeze out. And I hope you can see. Now I'm just going to put the Seacock in the hole. The retainer over it. And kind of wiggle it in place. Now it's pretty much seated. I'm just moving it around. Move all the grease around. Now I will put the nuts and bolts back on. Now the base is threaded, and then the nuts probably aren't needed, but they definitely lock it in place so the screw doesn't come out. Put the nut on. So I got the nut on one side. And I'm just trying to gauge that they're the same amount of space. Not scientific. And I just exercise it a little bit. Tighten it down some more equally. Very important that they're pressing down equally. I can just like feel it like stop there. I can feel it stop there. It's a hair stiff for my liking. I'll back it off a quarter turn on each. Much better. Tighten up the locking nut. You don't have to kill the locking nut because it's just there for locking purposes. If it backs out. And that's about it. So let's call that done. I will clean up, and I will do the other Seacocks the same way. I'm not going to film those. Pretty much the same process.